Hey everyone, this is Dr. Steve Orma, and today I'm going to answer another question from a viewer. And this question is from Vivi H. And her question is, my dreams wake me up and I have such interrupted sleep patterns due to it. Is that normal? The first half of my night is fine, but after 2 a.m. it sucks to sleep, I guess, because I'm spending more time in REM cycles. That was a question, that last part. So basically, Vivi is having these sort of intense or disturbing dreams, in the sort of early part of the morning or the second half of the night that are waking her up and interrupting her sleep. And so she's having like this kind of poor quality, fragmented, restless sleep. And she wants to know, is this normal? Like what's going on here? So the first thing I would say here is, so let me just talk about REM sleep. So what's REM sleep? REM is rapid eye movement. This is also known as our dream sleep. So this is when we're dreaming in the night. And it's called rapid eye movement because during that stage of sleep, our eyes are sort of jutting back and forth under our lids. So if you see someone sometimes and you could see this sort of thing going back and forth underneath their eyelids, that means they're dreaming. That's something that happens during that stage of sleep. And so we also get REM sleep. So the stages of sleep, there's 4 stages. There's stage 1 and 2, which is really light sleep, kind of the first stages that we go into, light sleep. And then there's stage 3, which is deep sleep. And then stage 4 is considered REM sleep. And what happens over the night is we cycle through these different stages somewhere between 4 and 6 times, that we go fully through all 4 of these stages 4 to 6 times. Each cycle is around 60 or 90 to 120 minutes. And the REM sleep, the amount of each of these stages that we get at different points in the night will change over the course of the night. So the first half of the night, we're actually getting most or all of our deep sleep and a lot of our lighter sleep and less of our REM or dream sleep. And we get much more of our dream sleep in the second part of the night, which is why you might notice your dreams more in the early morning or when you wake up that you were dreaming. If you wake up, let's say out of if you're waking up to an alarm, you might have been woken out of a dream. Okay, so that's just the normal part of like a human being's sleep cycles and the way the stages go. And so to answer her question now, so first of all, before I answer the question of, let's dig into this. Is this normal? And again, I mentioned this normal question comes up a lot with sleep because there's stuff going on inside our body when we're sleeping. And, it's like, and if we don't understand what's going on, we want to know, is this normal? Like, should this be happening? Because the fear is that it's not normal and there's something wrong and what's going on there. So what's normal? Well, first let's just talk about REM sleep and dreams. Now, there's a lot about sleep that scientists still don't understand. It's a pretty new science. And I'm not a sleep scientist, I'm a psychologist, so I give people treatments to overcome insomnia, or I guide them through that treatment. But a sleep scientist would actually study like the architecture of sleep, and they'd study brainwave patterns and all these things that are going on when we're actually sleeping. And dreams or REM sleep is something that they don't really know a lot about yet. They know some, but they don't know a lot. So it's difficult to assess what's normal, what's not normal in terms of like the content of a person's dream. But what is normal is that you should be dreaming and that you should be going through that stage and that there's certain processes that go on during REM sleep. Okay, so I would say it's not healthy. And I like to use the word healthy rather than normal here because sometimes it's hard to know what's normal. And even what is normal isn't always what's healthy. But it's normal to dream. It's normal to go through these stages. And I would say, though, if that's waking you up, if you're waking up out of a dream state because you're having disturbing dreams or upsetting dreams or things like that, then that's not ideally healthy if it's going on consistently. If that happens every once in a while, no big deal. But if it's happening consistently every night or several nights a week over a period of time, then it's a concern because it's interfering with your ability to get a good, solid, deep night of sleep. So what could be going on here? Okay. So number one is REM rebound, what's called REM rebound sleep. REM rebound sleep is when something is interfering or blocking or suppressing the REM sleep stage. And then when you remove that thing, the REM cycle or the dreams come back in a very sort of powerful way where you could have these really vivid, disturbing, upsetting dreams. And those dreams could definitely wake you up because of their intensity. And so what can cause REM rebound is usually a substance. So one thing that we know that suppresses REM sleep is alcohol. So when you drink alcohol, and I should have a whole episode on alcohol here, but alcohol is like one of the worst things that you can do for your sleep. Because number one, it will knock you out, right? This is why people use alcohol, because it's a sedative, it'll knock you out, it'll help you go into some form of sleep state, which is sort of not really a sleep state, it's more of sedation, similar to taking a drug like a benzodiazepine for sleep. So people use it because it works in the sense that it'll knock you out, it'll relax you, okay? But it'll also interfere or suppress REM sleep. That's one thing it does. And then what happens is, as your body metabolizes alcohol over the course of, the first 3-4 hours of the night, and the alcohol is, metabolizing and evaporating from your system, then once it's out of your system, the REM sleep rebounds and it comes back really strong because the first part of the night it was being suppressed by the alcohol and now it's coming back. It's probably some kind of adaptive thing built into human beings to kind of recover whatever processes were lost while it was being suppressed, and then it comes back in this really intense way. Okay, so that's one thing. And then when that happens, that could wake you up, or it could wake you up several times. If you're drinking alcohol, you could also wake up for other reasons that have nothing to do with the dreams. You could wake up because you're dehydrated, or because you have to go to the bathroom, because alcohol, will cause you to want to pee more often. It could also increase the heat in your body, because when you're metabolizing alcohol, your body is giving off heat. So you could start sweating or just getting too hot for the sleep, and that can wake you up. So, but one of the main things here is that alcohol suppresses REM sleep, and therefore you could have REM rebound. Another thing that does it is prescription drugs. So antidepressants, all the different kinds of antidepressants, the different classes of antidepressants also have been shown to suppress REM sleep. So that's another thing. If you're taking an antidepressant, particularly in the evening, that can also suppress REM sleep. And then when that drug metabolizes or wears down in your system over time, then you could have the REM rebound. Benzodiazepines, which is an anti-anxiety medication, Ativan, Xanax, things like that, that also can suppress REM sleep, and therefore you could have REM rebound from that. Okay, so that is one thing that can definitely cause dreams to wake you up, or cause very intense, stressful, anxiety-ridden, vivid kind of dreams that could wake you up out of your sleep. The second thing is just stress and anxiety that you're having in your daily life. Okay, so basically whatever happens in your life during the day, stressful events, anxiety you're having, this could be around work, it could be relationship, it could be your health, really anything. It could be COVID, it could be the economy. Anything in your life that's creating a lot of stress for you or anxiety for you, if that isn't sort of, let's say, resolved during the day, or you don't wind down enough at night, like decompress at night, which is really important for good sleep, then you can bring that into sleep with you. Well, why? Well, because you're still you. When you're sleeping, you're still you. You have this, the same beliefs and stuff going through your mind, And if there's really stressful things going on in your life that you haven't resolved or you haven't processed or you haven't sort of disconnected from before you go into sleep, then you can bring that stress or that anxiety into the sleep. And of course, it's going to come out into your dreams. What our dreams are, which again, scientists don't fully understand, but it's your subconscious mind is incredibly active while we sleep and during basically our whole sleep cycles. We don't, like people might think that when we're sleeping, everything's calm and there's not much going on in your body, but actually all different kinds of things are going on in your body and in your brain while we sleep. And all these different processes and systems in your body are being, things are happening during that period of time. And so whatever happens to be in your subconscious, which is where we hold all of our thoughts and ideas and beliefs and emotions and memories, will just kind of come out during our dreams. And essentially, they're just, firings of the subconscious that are going on in the dreams, sort of randomly. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they know. Are these random? Are there reasons why we have certain kinds of dreams? There's all kind of theories around dreams and interpreting dreams. But essentially, it's like just stuff in your subconscious that is coming out, while you're sleeping, and it's creating, different images and experiences and emotions. And if those things are stressful or anxiety ridden, then that could also be something that wakes you up because you're just carrying that anxiety and stress into the sleep. So those are at least the two things that I would think of that would be causing this restless, sort of poor quality sleep that could be interfering with your sleep if this is going on for you or for the viewer here. So what can you do here? Well, obviously with the first one, like don't drink alcohol. Like you want to make sure alcohol is metabolized out of your body before you sleep. Okay, so generally no more than 1 or 2 drinks in the evening. And, I would say at least 1 to 2 hours for each drink. So if you're giving yourself 3 hours or more, and you only had 1 or 2 drinks, but then you stop 3 hours or more before you go to bed, then it should be metabolized. I mean, some people have very slow metabolisms with alcohol, or they don't handle it well. So you have to personalize this to you. But essentially, you want to get it all out of your system, and if you do that, then it shouldn't interfere with your sleep. Same thing with, a lot of people are taking, benzodiazepines like Valium or Xanax or, any of these kinds of anti-anxiety drugs. And they're doing it to help them sleep, ironically, or they're doing it to help anxiety. But unfortunately, it also will impact the quality of the sleep and could cause this REM rebound. Also, if you're taking an antidepressant in the evening, you could try to find one that you could take in the morning. Some of them have sedative effects. So, you might not be able to take it in the morning, but there are antidepressants you can take that don't have a sedative effect that you can take in the morning or earlier part of the day where it's not going to affect your sleep at night. So you definitely want to consult with your doctor or prescriber to see what you could do here if that might be something that is, causing these dreams that are waking you up. And then the other thing is for the second one, the stress and anxiety, is to address the stress and anxiety in your life. I mean, everybody has stress. And, most people have some anxiety sometimes about certain things, but if it's at an extreme or a high level, then you want to address that during the day. So whatever you need to do to address it, it depends on what it is, but you try to alleviate and lower and manage that stress better or that anxiety better. So, and then in the evening, you want to make sure you give yourself time to decompress, to, kind of relax, and kind of let the worries and the stresses of the day go to put you into a state that's going to be good for sleep. So when you get into bed and go to sleep, you have a more restful night of sleep, and your dreams also are kind of less tumultuous because you're in a calmer state. So those are some things that you could do to try to, if these are the things that are actually causing this problem. I would say the third thing that you could do, like if you do these things, let's say you have no stress going on, no anxiety, everything's going fine, you're totally calm when you go to sleep, and you know, these things aren't going on, and you're not drinking, and you're not taking the medications, and you're still having this issue, then, you know, you could get what's called a sleep study, which is where you go to a lab and they hook you up to some, you know, things on your head here, and they just, you know, kind of observe you over the night to see if there's any sort of sleep disorders going on that could be causing problems in the dreams or be causing this restless kind of sleep. And then obviously I talk about, I mean, you know, this channel is for people with insomnia, and that's my specialty, helping people get past insomnia. And yeah, if you have insomnia outside of, you know, like if this is just, this could be like a symptom as well of insomnia, if you're also having difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, or when you wake up after the dream, getting back to sleep, which is called early morning awakening, that could be, you know, symptoms of insomnia. And then the primary problem there would be insomnia and addressing that, because that also can, a poor quality sleep or restless sleep sometimes happens with insomnia. Well, quite frequently it does, because the sleep system becomes weaker. And then dreams can kind of become more overpowering and wake you up because your sleep system has been weakened. So you want to look at all these different areas and see kind of what fits for you in terms of what could be contributing to this, if this is happening for you, and then troubleshoot and then start addressing these different things and try to remedy the problem to improve it. I will say that the REM sleep or dream sleep, all of the stages of sleep are extremely important. Sometimes people think, oh, this stage isn't as important as that stage. But if that were true, then we would have evolved to not have these stages of sleep. But we evolved over millions of years to have our sleep go in a certain way, to go through these different stages, because each stage is important for different things and different systems in our body. And one thing they know about dreams is that it has at least two important things. And one is emotional regulation, meaning that there's something that happens with the amygdala, which is the part of our brain that sort of processes and manages emotions in us. And that when we go through REM sleep, there's some processing going on there that helps with emotion regulation, that if you don't get enough sleep, you tend to be more emotionally volatile or labile, which is when your emotions are more changing, or you're more irritable or touchy, or get more emotional or more angry than you normally would be, because you're not getting the regulation during your REM sleep. So that's one reason why REM sleep is extremely important. Another one is for integrating your knowledge, right? So in deep sleep, we sort of store memory, so things that happen during the day, or if we're learning, we're studying something and we want to retain it, well, deep sleep helps us put it into long-term memory. But then what REM sleep does is it takes all of that knowledge, that's sort of this disparate, different pieces of knowledge, and it integrates it, right? It connects all these different things together. And that's critically important, so we can think and we can apply it in our life. Otherwise, it's just sort of useless knowledge in our brain. And this is actually where creativity comes from, right? Creativity it's not just like having a lot of knowledge, it's being able to integrate this knowledge in kind of different and unique ways, making these different connections. So if you're an artist, or really anybody, we need to think creatively to be able to be effective in life and be able to make decisions and kind of come up with solutions and solve problems and, put that into our work. Well, REM sleep is really important to be able to do that, because it's what creates all these connections from all the things that we're learning. So those are at least two areas where REM sleep is really important to get, and might give you some more motivation and incentive to sort of address any of these things that I brought up that might be getting in the way of you getting all of your REM sleep, and also be getting, just a more solid, smooth, deep night of sleep. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, just press the like button, and you can also subscribe to the channel. And, you can write any comments or anything you have below. I read all the comments, and hope you have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.